Bless the Lord, O my soul, and all that is within me, bless his holy name.
Thank you so much for tuning in to Everything Catholic again, and thank you so much for your support of this channel, and I hope all of you who are always here, you have been learning a lot, especially when it comes to the saints in the Church. Now for this video, what I'd like to do here is share this clip of Father Joseph Iannuzzi, where he talks about something like a prophecy of sort. Now, I probably wouldn't share this if it's coming from a lay person or someone who's not qualified to speak on the matter. But as Father Iannuzzi's background is in mystical theology, and he is qualified and authorized to teach and speak on the matter, that's why I am more than happy to share this clip with you. Please listen to this.
Now, many of you know who have a pulse on modern times and in the spiritual situation of the Church in the world today, time is very short. We're now, in my opinion, we're speaking of months here, not years anymore. Remember, Our Lady at Garabandal will refer you to 4 sources just to emphasize why I say what I say about time being short. First, the ecclesiastically approved prophetic revelations, bearing the Church's seals of approval and promators nihil obstats of the true life and God messages of a mystic who died this past year. Had a message came out July of 2024 of Jesus, and he said, you have 1 to 2 more years before all these events will begin to happen. Now, certainly, these events depend upon our conversion or lack thereof. We cannot put them off. They're going to happen, but we can mitigate them. And we can possibly postpone them, depending upon our conversion or lack thereof. So that's one example. 1 to 2 years, that was said in July of last year. Now, Our Lady Garabandal told the 4 seers that these events will happen. There will be a warning, sign in the sky, and then the chastisement. And that there would be 4 more popes, and that after the 4th pope would be the beginning of the end of times. True Life in God says the end of times will begin. These events of the end times will begin in a year or 2. Our Lady Garabandal, 4 more popes, then the end times will begin. See the correlation? Now the pope's in the hospital. We also have Medjugorje. The Blessed Mother told all 6 seers that once they receive 10 secrets, then these end time events will begin to happen. 5 of them have 10 secrets. 1 has 9. 1 more secret is all that it takes for these things to begin. See the imminency here? And then NASA is coming out now. Came out a few years ago, 2 years ago, and said they found a comet, Apophis. Now they said they found another comet. They said it will impact the Earth in 2029 on Friday the 13th. Then they took it off the website. Said, oh, it probably missed the Earth, but we're not certain. But now there are 2 comets floating around. And all these are signs that we're really at the very end of the times of mercy. Jesus told St. Faustina, the times of mercy will come to an end and give way to my justice. That's known in theology in Scripture as the day of the Lord. It's when God's wrath is manifest. And we know from approved prophetic literature what this chastisement consists of, how we are to prepare ourselves for it. And this is what Lent is about. It's about how to prepare ourselves for these times. I will say, and it's again just my theological opinion, and I hope I'm wrong, we have 2 more good, dependable feast days of divine mercy in front of us. I'm sure there may be 3, 4 more, who knows, maybe even 50. I'm just telling you that in my opinion, based upon what I'm seeing here and reading, is that once things get difficult, it's going to be hard to find a priest to confess to. This was told by Our Lady at Garabandal. She said, when the warning happens, which is before the sign in the sky, which is before the chastisement, things will be so bad you won't be able to go to church. Now, we experienced some of that during COVID, but it's going to be a lot worse the next time. And what that next time consists of, I really don't know. But there will be a moment where we won't be able to even go to church. That's why I say, take this Divine Mercy Sunday very seriously, the first Sunday after Easter. And it's a beautiful occasion because both the East and the West are celebrating the same date of Easter together, which doesn't happen very often. And therefore, there'll be also recipients of this indulgence of Divine Mercy Sunday, the first Sunday after Easter. Recipients of this indulgence of Divine Mercy Sunday, the first Sunday after Easter. And I told people in the past, there's a difference between the Church's plenary indulgence during this year of Jubilee, year of hope, and the Divine Mercy Plenary Indulgence. But the Divine Mercy Feast Day is different and greater than the Church's Plenary Indulgence. Why do I say that? The Church requires 5 things for you to obtain 1 plenary indulgence a day during the Jubilee year. The Divine Mercy Feast requires only 2 things. The Church's plenary indulgence comes from the treasure trove of the graces accumulated from the saints of the past. The Divine Mercy Feast comes from directly the depths of the bosom of God's mercy, not from the treasure trove of the saints. So there's a difference. And what makes it more difficult to obtain a plenary, meaning a full remission of all sin and punishment from the Church's indulgence, is that you have to have a complete detachment from all sin, which is not required for the Divine Mercy Plenary Indulgence. And one time I recall Padre Pio in the 50s, he was asked by a group of men who accompanied a group of people going to the Porziuncola. It's where St. Francis of Assisi started to build the church. He took the Lord's word seriously, rebuilt my church literally, and then realized that's not what he meant and stopped building it. And he died there. So people go there every year because the church gives a plenary indulgence to those who go to the Porziuncola in Assisi on the feast of St. Francis. Okay. So thousands of souls in the 50s were going there. And when this penitent asked Padre Pio how many received a plenary indulgence, he raised his hand and showed 2 fingers. He was shocked. He says, "You mean everyone here didn't get a plenary?" He said they got an indulgence, but it wasn't complete because they did not have a complete detachment from all sin. On the Divine Mercy Feast Day, you don't have to have that. All you have to do is be contrite. Contrition, unlike attrition, means not only do you fear going to hell, which is attrition, but you make a resolution to prove your love for God. Judas Iscariot had attrition, not contrition. The Church teaches attrition does not take away grave sin, only takes away venial sin. The fear of hell does not take away grave sin. Contrition does. That's the love of God. How do you know you have the love of God? By making a resolution. Judas never made a resolution. So he was fearing, but he never, like St. Peter, said, "I'm sorry, I won't do it again." So that's why I think it's very important that we take complete advantage of this feast day of Divine Mercy.
Well then, that will be all for the video this time. And as always, thank you so much for taking the time to be here with us, and hopefully all of you have learned so much from this video. And remember, if ever you have any feedback or suggestion, please let us know in the comments below. And until the next one, thanks again for watching, and may God bless you.
It's sort of like you consuming food. The food assimilates into you. To ask the children, how do you grow from infancy to adolescence to adulthood? You're the same person, you don't change, but something is making you change. What is that? The food you consume, the water you drink. This becomes part of you, makes you grow physically, and this same thing the Eucharist does, but in a spiritual sense. Spiritually, we transform, the soul transforms into a replica of Christ without losing our own human creaturehood. We still retain our human person. We don't become the 4th person of the Trinity, but that transforms us. That other person within us is transforming us without us evolving into another species or anything like that.
Right.
So it pretty much shoots down the whole idea of evolution, basically.